so we don't have any reason to suspect him.
Okay, family.
Did she leave any children or family?
No, no children, no brothers or sisters, foreign parents that she didn't see much. For now, that's all I know. And a husband. Pretty regular corporate profile, if you ask me.
Well, he was a fitness trainer. Is that sort of a corporate profile these days?
Do you have any theories about what happened?
It's a little early yet, but everything points to suicide. There are lots of loose ends as to why, especially considering who she was. Her laptop, for example, is gone. We haven't been able to find it, so who knows how deep that thing goes. Even so, I don't think there's a possibility someone sneaked in and forced her to take some pills somehow. But don't take my word for it. We don't even have the full autopsy report yet.
Thanks.
No problem.
All right. Good stuff. Whoa, look at this.
Go AT's new project. Generative design and automated construction. Their success would mean another tech earthquake. This time in the construction and housing market. So everybody is both intrigued and scared about it.
Automated construction?
Go AT's new project.
All right, shush. Okay, we don't have any special investigative sense, right? I don't think so. Oh, crap. Gal Technologies stock drops 34 points. Unemployment worldwide to hit double digits. Automation and global warming, the largest layoff causes. All right, that's a lot of reading that I'm not really here for right now. But interesting. Okay, we can just take the gist of it. Mm-hmm. Whoa. Okay, there's no crouching here. What is this? What kind of a window is this? It's supposed to look like water? Hmm? Nice. Okay, something in the oven? Nah.
The great shaman Po, master of mirrors, has passed away on his 100th birthday, dated July 12th.
What? Shaman Po? Edgar Allan?
I don't think I ever heard of him.
Same here.
I don't think I ever heard of him.
Okay. Why are we swaying from side to side? Are we drunk? Alright, pictures.
Probably the things Alex came to pick up when he found her.
Probably.
Probably the things Alex came
Anything
to
else
pick
he
up
has
when
to
he
say?
found her.
Yeah?
Thanks.
No problem.
Good talk, good talk. Okay. Some nice photos behind the window.
Looks like where the body was.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like where the body was.
Okay, there is nothing else. And
G-Zax sleeping pills. You need a prescription for these.
G-Zax. Something else? Yeah, weird paintings. That's the first sign for me. That's weird. But I mean, okay, suicide. I initially thought that she overdosed with pills and somehow, you know, the body gave up. But now I see blood.
Bloody footprints. She probably stepped on the broken shards.
Or she cut herself.
Bloody footprints.
Okay.
She
And a
probably
bit
stepped
of
on
a
the broken shards.
bit of vomit.
Vomit. Vomit.
Yeah, no wonder.
Broken. Looks like something was thrown at it.
Okay, go back to the lab and use the Dreamwalker machine to enter Joanna's last memories. Well, that was a good hit. Nothing else? Nice bathroom, though. And that bath, oh my goodness. It's got to be a jacuzzi of sorts. Do-do-do-do-do-do-doop. Okay.
Alex's clothes, probably.
Probably.
Alex's clothes, probably.
Probably.
I wonder what's in those boxes.
And
I wonder what's in those boxes.
Can we not have a look? Yes, we cannot, because we are not police or investigators.
Looks like an expensive mask.
Okay.
Clearly she'd been drinking.
Clearly.
Another broken mirror. I don't think it's a coincidence.
All right, so there was something weird going on in her mind, breaking all the mirrors. No spoilers. Reminds me of Song of Horror. Good. Would you really like to have a bed like this? I mean, really open from every angle. I would not really like to sleep like that. I would like to have a closed room. Okay, I think that's it. Expensive flat for sure.
It's getting late. Goes with the style of the place. Yeah, time. Yeah, time.
Yeah. Okay. Did we miss anything? I don't think so, really. Just a second, guys. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. Oh, there is actually a pool out there. That's what this is about. Okay. Okay, glasses. I really hope that we could go outside. So there is a little pool. Quite dangerous, though. Okay, I think we've seen everything. Let's go back. But the view, well, the view would be great, but I still wish to have some doors on the bedroom. I mean, yeah, she probably was somewhere on the top floor or something like that. Almost top. Okay, there's gonna be music here.
Technology, but who, as Cindy Smith very eloquently put it here earlier, feel that technology is something that both can empower and do fantastic good in the world, and at the same time gives us new power to screw up in even grander ways than before. So we feel we want to do everything we can now to make sure that technology gets used for good. If we look at not very powerful technological inventions like fire, for instance, we use the strategy of learning from mistakes. We screwed up a bunch of times and then we invented the fire extinguisher. But with more powerful technologies,
What's this supposed to be about?
synthetic biology, artificial intelligence, etc., we don't want to learn from mistakes. We want to get things right the first time, because that might be the only time that we have, right? And the way I think about this is to create a great future for humanity. We want to win this race.
Well
this
recorded.
race between the growing power of technology and the growing wisdom with which we manage the technology. By investing more in this wisdom. We're going to hear more in this session from Pierre and Daniel and Nick about nuclear and bio and AI. But let me start by talking just a little bit about nuclear weapons, because even though
all right.
talking about AI, I feel that
Come on, turn it off. There we go. We don't really want to get any copyright strikes. Maybe not from that, but you never know. Good. Is this ready? Upload complete.
Upload is ready.
Good.
I've got nothing to put in there.
Really? What will go in there? That'll be a question.
Development logs of patch 1.2. Probably the most important update to date, and Carl's last contribution to the project.
There is nothing on the monitor, guys. Log 2, log 5, log 6, 7, log 1. Is this just reading?
All right. I have a temporary solution for when Evie can't interpret some part of a memory, but it requires manual input. So, let's say the data was a chair. While Evie can't interpret it is a chair, or where it should be, she's still able to produce a 3D geometrical output with sound, and that output is based on data which does have meaning. The problem is that it doesn't fit anywhere, and it doesn't make sense to her. So, what I did was to allow Evie to still represent this failed reconstruction in an encapsulated manner that we can look at, inside the memory space, so we can interpret it. I made a quick interface for inspection too. So, in other words, we can now assist Evie at interpreting the data by using our special human skills. We just have to tell her what it could be and where it should belong, and she should be able to narrow the margin enough to make it part of the reconstruction again.
Question. Is it always about something missing, like a chair or another object? Or can it be a subjective thing that doesn't belong anywhere?
It could be a subjective thing, yes, but that would be rare, as it's more likely to become a subjective entity or part of the subjective environment somehow. Shouldn't be represented as missing data.
Okay.
Can happen, though. Would be interesting to see.
Yeah. This is great, Carl. We're so close.
All right. So these are like really the logs of how the development of the software for the brain reading works. And Wookie Cookie, it says that, but Windows never stopped updating. Upload complete, but it's still something peeking out the CPU in the background and pushing stuff on your hard drives. Hey there, Windows. And welcome, Wookie. All right. I'm curious to see, because this should train you to what's about to come, what's about to appear in the analysis of the brain.
So, reason to celebrate. We can now make an objective reconstruction.
So, it worked.
My original approach didn't, but the machine learning approach did.
These are your memories you're using, right?
Yeah, for now.
Cool.
So what I did is to isolate a memory of a specific place, and then made the machine compare it with real footage of that same place, taken exactly at the same moment that the memory was made. So instead of trying to find out how to filter a memory out of its subjective experience, I just let the machine attempt it through trial and error. It basically iterates reconstructions of my memory by randomly filtering unclassified data. And the random reconstructions that match the footage the most get selected, and a new round of random reconstructions begin. Eventually, the filtering is narrowed down to data that is more and more reduced in size. And after a while, the solution is basically the same as the footage, just more glitchy and blurry.
And did you test it with different types of memories?
Nothing too extreme in terms of emotional distress yet, but yes, all types of memories and places. I've been carrying a camera for quite a while now.
I like it, but I think that you still need a bigger test pool to truly call it objective. I mean, you could be introducing bias by how you're making these memories.
That's true. But currently, the places consistently match in size, shape, color. The sounds are getting clearer. While it's not perfect yet, it's robust enough to be certain that if anything bigger than, for example, the size of a tennis ball appears in an objective reconstruction, and if that isn't too blurry or glitchy, it means it was just there. The error margin is simply too small now.
Cool.
Yep, and the cool thing is we can start classifying and understanding this data now by going backwards.
Yeah, I want to take a look at that.
It's all uploaded.
Awesome, Russell.
All right. Interesting stuff. And, okay, I need to step back. It's getting darker. Okay, step back again. What's the third one?
Okay, so now, besides switching states, we can actually sort of fast travel to different memories and events inside that memory. As we know, time is still an issue, as you can go back or further in time inside a single memory. So, I thought it would be handy to have some sort of database of memories and their events as you reconstruct them. It also captures visual references as you progress, so it will help us remember a bit about each reconstruction, as it gets confusing sometimes. So,
Okay.
this is very rough, but basically what you do is choose a memory from the subject's lifeline, and then if that memory is split into sub-events, you can select them and reconstruct that specific moment in time.
All right.
It's pretty simple, actually.
That's very handy.
Yep. And if you ever manage to do that objective filter, I made it easy to divide each event into objective and subjective, so they can be selected through here as well.
Thanks for thinking about that. We will make this work.
Well, we've already talked about it, but I'll say this. Even if it doesn't work, we'll reach that truth through subjectivity itself.
Don't let anyone hear you saying that.
Yeah.
Not yet.
All right. So we will have the opportunity to investigate the objective stuff that the brain or the person saw, and then actually switch into subjective, which should account for some feelings, I believe, some standpoints. All right. Next one, please. So we have 4, 5, well, 7, 8, 9. 9! There are 9 of these.
Very minor upgrade to the control panel this week. If we discover raw data, then try to use it somewhere, and then forget to pick it up, Evie will know where we left it, so she can recall it. I put a small input there in the control panel to do just that.
Perfect. I'm absolutely going to forget them.
Yeah, I was thinking of you.
Okay, on my side. I coded a small feature this week as well. If you need feedback from Evie about anything, she can now temporarily use more resources to process it. Technically, she will use more RAM to freeze a lot of secondary processes and then continue from that image. And if the RAM is not enough, she'll use our disks. So basically, a lot more processing power will be available for a few seconds, and the memory shouldn't shut down.
Perfect. Great.
Okay, some kind of a boost with the investigation. All right, moving on. Interesting style. We're going for some sort of a tutorial, right?
Just a quick update on Evie. We've uploaded a few more natural language modules that have really improved her speech. But the biggest upgrade is a module that allows her to learn from us. It does use some processing power, but it's worth it. The biggest gains occur when she is actually on a conversation and being challenged, instead of relying only on big data analysis. So since she's learning from us all the time, we should try to speak to her naturally. Be polite with her. Explain things. Correct her when she makes linguistic errors, and so on. The clearer our language, the clearer she'll be when trying to interpret data to us later.
Okay. So Evie should be our AI assistant, as far as I understand. Okay, what else? So 6.
Is it on?
Yes.
Okay, Russell. I think it needs just a few more days. I could use some testing, though.
Count on it. This weekend?
I really love
Great,
that this
but
is
weren't
voiced.
you going to meet with Laura?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Monday then.
Cool. So, subjective entities. As we decided, the understanding of subjectivity should be handled from different angles to avoid bias. So this particular angle is all about allowing the data to speak for itself, so to speak. I didn't want to rush into applying any concept we feel safe to talk about yet. So I first isolated data that had these characteristics: lack of particular location, lack of predefined shape, lack of overall consistency, a strong, erratic influence on other memory data, and of course that AI doesn't get close to interpret it. So with this data, instead of forcing Evie to interpret something out of it, I allowed it to sort of latch to human and animal behavior patterns. Let me explain this. I mapped thousands of different behaviors into patterns, and then allowed the machine to brute force similarities between these patterns and the original uninterpreted data. If
Jesus.
these are found, they can complement each other, because after a while, the data will have some behaviors more suited to itself than others.
Okay.
And with a little push, they can work as a vehicle to express the data. It's still far off to get something objective about it, but it allows for a lot of guesswork about what is the subjective thing that's going on in the memory. For example, let's say the subjective data is some sort of tense nervousness. Then there is a chance a subjective entity is introduced into the reconstruction to make sense of some of the data that has a behavior typical of tension and nervousness. I'm aware
Was
that
that
there
a
are
cat?
layers of interpretation
It's
here,
supposed to be a cat?
but thankfully the pool sample is huge, and the good thing is that we can do investigative work with this. If we analyze the data carefully and start to challenge these behaviors, it can't lead to an objective conclusion, but it can lead to something if other aspects of the memory support the hypothesis that can come out of these behaviors.
Okay.
What do you think?
Going
I
kind of
love
deep.
It allows us to investigate further without closing any doors.
I knew you'd get it. It's just having a bigger expression range for the subconscious. That's all we need for now.
Yeah, but the game is trying to explain to us what we should expect to see in the reconstructions. Quite a deep concept. Time warps.
Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so after some serious wrestling with time, always a complex subject, we have a new feature for our time-based reconstruction problems.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. So since it's difficult to freeze one specific moment over a large space, there's always the chance that time variations are too large and that they introduce errors to the reconstruction. So when Evie does find a part of a memory which has a range of moments available, like for example, someone walking from his room to the backyard, and sometimes it's not enough time to make it a different memory event. So what I did, in order to make use of that information, is that if that room-backyard range fits into the maximum time threshold of the event, Evie will now introduce a control that we can use to warp time on that specific object,
Okay.
instead of choosing one part and discarding the rest, so we can see the whole sequence without disturbing the rest of the memory.
Okay.
Thanks.
Albus is doing a ruckus around me. Okay, and he moved away. Alright, what's next? We're almost there. Avatars.
So, avatars are like a quick adaptation of the subjective entity's work. After a while, we've been able to classify subjective entities based on a few characteristics, like aggressiveness, amount of reaction to the other elements in the memory, and a big list that we can go through later. But what I discovered is that some of the entities are fully passive, meaning that they do not express behavior, but other entities do react to them. So, they are part of the subjective behavior web, but passive. So what I did is make a small hack to use their influence at our will. So it allows us to investigate other entities.
So we can control them.
I wouldn't say truly controlling them, but we can move them around and see how they influence the rest of the subjective space. It's only a spatial thing for now, but it can be really helpful to study how the patterns react to each other.
Okay. You see some clickety-clacking and throwing some stuff around. It's the furball. The little furball. And the last one is on-the-fly scanning.
Okay, still working on the on-the-fly scanning project. It's still a long way to go, but I'm moving in the right direction. The head needs to be fully constrained, though. That's what I'm solving right now. Just moving a bit slow with everything that's happened lately. Yeah, logs will probably stop for a while, until things normalize a bit.
Alright, so I don't know if we need to wait until Albus is calm again, because I don't really wish to growl him over all the text that's being read. But I guess now we will be going into the machine that we finally heard all the logs. Nothing else around. Still nothing to put in
I've
there,
got
right?
nothing to put in there.
Yep, alright. So let's begin.
Evie, ready?
Yes.
Okay, good. Please operate on patch 1.2. And scan for the latest memory you can find, ideally just before her death.
Understood.
Interesting. Facial reconstruction finished.
So this is when she died.
Oh my goodness. All right. Find objective. What? How do I see my objectives again? Okay, tab. Find objective information on Joanna's death. Okay, that's interesting.
Hello there, Joanna. What was in your mind when you looked at your shadow? What was in your mind?
Okay,
when
so
you
she
looked
was
at your
here and she
shadow?
looked at her shadow. Oh, crap.
Interesting glitch on the clock. Could be a filtering error. Could be a filtering error.
Could be.
Reconstructing glass from memories. I don't think we'll ever get it right. Maybe someone will figure it out eventually. But it's always going to be a wild guess.
Okay. We know that it was glass.
Unless we start using discs instead of our brains.
Maybe.
Reconstructing glass from memories.
Okay, good.
I don't think we'll ever get it right. Afternoon light. Didn't she die at night?
Hmm?
Afternoon light. Didn't she die at night?
Oh, okay, this is twisted. Good, that was the article that we didn't know anything about. Nothing right here. Okay. Let's look at this real quick and we'll go upstairs and see what we get out of all those clues. What?
Afternoon light.
Okay.
Didn't she die at night?
What?
Afternoon light.
Okay, this is odd.
Didn't she die at night?
It's still the same interaction, but it's a little bit to the left. Nothing on the table. Nothing on the painting. Nothing in here. No. Let's go up.
Lots of missing information here, Evie. This doesn't seem to be the right moment.
Yes. I wasn't able to pinpoint any further coordinates. Objective data is incomplete.
Reasons?
High emotional state.
She might have known she was going to die. Is there enough data to reconstruct a subjective state of the memory?
Yes.
Good. I'll enter the subjective state and see what I can find.
Switch state. And hey there, Keo. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Busy morning so far? We haven't really missed a lot of the game. We only entered the investigation of the objective memories and subconscious. And Quacks, the devs of this are brilliant, using room scanning as a, let's say, easy way to build up these simulations. Well, of course we will be switching quite a bit through all the states, so objective, subjective. We'll see how it goes. I still wish to have a look around, and then we're gonna switch to the other mode. So yeah, you will be going through several rooms, or maybe then other, I don't know, places in the mind to find out what happened. Okay, we can't see anything here, so let's go and switch. There we go, loading subjective state.
Subjective reconstruction was successful, but I couldn't interpret all data.
It's fine, Evie. Subjective interpretation is